Am I live? Okay, let's see. Hello. I think I'm live. Facebook was having some funny things going on. Took me a second to get to you guys, so sorry about that. Hi. I am live. Let me get seated in my comfortable position. How is everyone today? It is so good to see you guys. I took the week off last week and it was lovely. Happy New Year to all of you. I know there's been some drama to start off the new year, but just praying for peace and ease and harmony for everyone. So I'm happy to be here. I'm Amy of amyrop.com, and I am here as always to lift your spirits, to show you what you can do to live your best life, and for many of you to help you on your path to motherhood. And I have an important conversation today. I think every day that I come to you live, it's an important conversation, but this is a really important one to me. I address it in, I think, all of my books. So this is the best-selling fertility book that you guys all probably have bought or know about. Yes, You Can Get Pregnant. Thank you so much for your support here. The amount of reviews and the sales of this book is just like off the charts these days. So I really appreciate that. My first book, Chill Out and Get Healthy, still my baby. And then my most recent book, Body Belief, and this is where I dive deep into the conversation we're going to have today. So all these books will help women with their health on their path to conception. And something I talk about that I don't hear even other natural fertility experts like myself talk about as much when it comes to fertility and improving egg quality and balancing hormones and all of the things is a certain kind of inflammation. So we all know that inflammation is no bueno for us, no matter what. We all know inflammation is the leading cause of chronic disease, right? And disease from a Chinese medicine perspective is dis-ease, disharmony, anything just not working right in the body. We know inflammation plays a role. It's scientifically proven. There's no argument about it. Everybody does better on an anti-inflammatory diet. It's all about reducing inflammation. Inflammation causes reactive oxidative species in the body, which causes oxidation, which causes cellular aging, which ages us before our time, which causes free radicals, all of these things. We are very crystal clear that inflammation is no good for health, for longevity, or for fertility. So that's a main reason why following a diet like I preach in Body Belief, or even in Yes, You Can Get Pregnant, and all of the supplements are powerful anti-inflammatory, antioxidant-rich diets that will help improve egg quality, that will help balance hormones, that will help overall inflammation in your body. And we also know that inflammatory disorders like endometriosis, PCOS, premature ovarian aging, premature ovarian failure, blocked fallopian tube, structural issues, fibroids, polyps, cysts, all of these are a result of inflammation. Some are also a result of autoimmunity, just kind of depends on which one. We know that when you go anti-inflammatory and you change these things up, you will impact positively these disease states and you will get pregnant faster. You will improve your egg quality. Your AMH will go up. Your FSH will go down. Your antral follicle count will shift positively. Your uterine receptivity will shift positively. Your uterine blood flow will shift. All of the things. So we know across the board, inflammation is at the crux of managing modern disease, including modern fertility challenges, which are affecting like millions and millions and millions and millions of couples, likely you and your partner, or if you're in a partnership. So we know all that. But what I don't see enough conversation around, and what's really important to me, and was really like, I mean, it's so ingrained in these books, is what I call, and I'd have to do research. I do think I coined it. I'm not quite sure, but I call it emotional inflammation. Nobody addresses that. And in fact, when I wrote Body Belief, I really go at it because yes, there's a diet to follow. Yes, it's anti-inflammatory. Yes, it will help reverse and heal autoimmune conditions, inflammatory conditions. but there's a whole basis to this book that I get into, and I talk about it a lot. And yes, you can get pregnant as well. That I can tell you the diet to follow. I can tell you the supplements to take. I can tell you all the lifestyle adjustments you need to make, like sleeping and cleaning up your bath and beauty products and all of these things. But if we don't start with your mindset, if we don't start with your belief system, this stuff isn't going to work as good or as well as you want it to work. It's not going to be as effective. And a lot of times it actually can become counterproductive because you haven't worked on your mindset and you're doing this diet and taking these supplements from a space of deep, deep resentment and anger, and this place of like, oh, well, the girl eating McDonald's down the street, she didn't have a hard time getting pregnant. And here I am shoving all these supplements and can't eat gluten and I'm still not getting pregnant. Like, and it's a big old, excuse my language, but a big old F you to the universe. And so there becomes this deep, deep, deep level of resentment and anger because you haven't unpacked the belief systems behind it. You may or may not feel worthy of improved health and vitality and fertility, and instead think you're actually being cornered or punished. You think you're unworthy, so you're being punished, and that's why you're having fertility challenges, and that's why you're not getting pregnant. And now you're forced to do this diet even though you don't want to do this diet, and it feels so unfair, and I hate everyone who's pregnant, and this whole thing sucks, and I just want my stuff. Where's my stuff? Where's my stuff? I feel unworthy and I am pissed, right? So there's a lot of emotional inflammation. I'm sorry. 600 milligrams a day of CoQ10 is not going to take care of that emotional inflammation. 200 milligrams of alpha lipoic acid, not going to do it. 3 grams of fish oil, not going to do it. It's going to lower the inflammation in your body, but until you stop attacking you, until you get to the root of your belief systems behind how you live your life, what you think about on a daily basis, things aren't going to shift. If you are constantly in a state of fight or flight, which basically means if you are constantly attacking yourself, berating yourself, belittling yourself, questioning yourself, angry at the past, angry at the future, angry at everybody in your life, pissed off, sad, questioning yourself on a regular basis, focused on your numbers. My FSH is this, my AMH is this, this is my story. This is my fertility story. I am suffering. I am suffering. I am suffering. Like, I give you all the love and the support and the credit in the world for what you have gone through. It sucks. It sucks. It sucks. It sucks. No one wants to be in this club. No one wants to have fertility challenges. It's just like when my dad got diagnosed with cancer and he had this like upbeat attitude, and I was like, let's just call a spade a spade. Nobody wants to be in this fucking club. Nobody wanted cancer in our family. We have it. We got to make the best of it. But let's be honest. Nobody wants to be here, okay? And I don't in no way, shape, or form ever mean that you are causing yourself to be here by your beliefs. But they are not helping if they are constantly berating and belittling to yourself. So, what I like to teach my students, my readers, so if you guys are self-starters, the books are the way to go for you because it's all laid out in there. In Body Belief, I have a 3-step process. It's about reconnecting to you so you can live in your body again. You can feel all the feels, but you can also hear all the thoughts, because the truth is your thoughts dictate your behavior dictates your health. Neuroscience research shows us 100%. I was a neuroscientist research student. I studied neuroscience before I became an acupuncturist. I am a freaking nerd when it comes to neuroscience. Neuroscience research shows us your beliefs, your thoughts, the thoughts you think every single day, they impact your physiology. They impact the level of inflammation in your body. They impact how you age. And some could just say it's because they basically put you in this chronic fight or flight state, that your cortisol and cortisone levels are not what they're supposed to be, and you're basically running on empty because you constantly feel like you're being attacked. And mainly it could be yourself that's attacking you, or you might think it's your boss or your partner or your body or your fertility or whatever. You feel under attack, and you don't have the resources to manage that. You don't have the you can get it by all means. It's the best thing about thoughts and beliefs is they are changeable, but you weren't given the resources or the tools to even tune in enough to understand, to listen, to hear. That's what I teach. That's what I love to teach. And I see such transformation in my patients and my clients when I do that. Because again, I can give you the diet, I can give you the lifestyle, but until you own that you are worthy of feeling better, that you are worthy of change, that you are worthy of the life of your dreams, will things ultimately shift into the space that they need to. So, with all that, it's really getting to the core of these belief systems, right? And so I developed a program. It's called Yes. It's all about shifting your fertility mindset. And in there is this PDF that I give everybody. And it's basically like common fertility fears. And it could be like, I always thought I'd have a hard time getting pregnant. Everybody else is pregnant except for me, and that sucks. My FSH is too high. My AMH is too low. My doctor said donor eggs are my only option. I have no hope. Why bother, right? There's just layers of beliefs. And I basically have my students go through and they select the beliefs that they resonate with the most. I use this in my group coaching programs. I use it all the time, this PDF and these beliefs that I came up with. And usually women resonate with like 2 or 3 of them, and then we basically unpack. And typically what happens is these beliefs, so like say it's there's no hope, why bother? That's a good one. Or I'm too old, or everyone else is pregnant but me. When you really unpack the belief, what you start to see underneath it is that there was a long-standing belief before fertility challenges even started about worthiness, or about this theory in your life that everybody has it better or easier than me, or that I'm meant to struggle, or things never work out for me. I'm God's chew toy, as my husband used to say. There was this strong belief system that he had that like things were always going to be hard for him. And so guess what? Things were hard for him. And, and I see it constantly, like, and even myself, like my big thing is like, I'm not doing it good enough, right? I'm not trying hard enough. I got to try harder. I'm a very type A person. And I think that's probably why I had an eating disorder in college, and I sought perfectionism for a long time. And, now what I've learned over the years is how to be easy on myself and actually look at myself in the mirror and say, even though things aren't exactly as I want them to be, I am proud of myself, of how I show up every day. And I have great, confidence and faith and joy when I look at myself. Like I feel good about the person I am showing up as in the world, and that's taken a lot of if you will work. I don't mean efforting work, but I mean unpacking. Maybe the best word is unpacking. It's taken a lot of unpacking and a lot of self compassion and connection. So I could hear my beliefs and I could hear my thoughts, and I started to shift them and turn them. How did you help your husband get rid of that belief? I don't know that I necessarily did. I think he helped himself. I think I created, maybe I let go, but it's been his path to unpack that. That's, your life is just the story you tell yourself. And so we could choose a different story. And this other thing that, what are you focused on? Like, are you focused on all the things that have gone wrong? Because sure, then you will be very convinced that things always go wrong for you, but there's got to be a lot of things that have gone right for you as well, right? And so how to shift that mindset piece, because it's not about, my friend Agape Stassinopoulos said years ago at like a webinar we did together, or a lecture we did together, where she said it's not about adding more things that are joyful to your life. No. It's not that. It's about clearing away the blocks to your joy, because your joy is there. It was always there. You have found a way to cloud it. You have found other things to focus on that are blocking your joy. So it's not about like a new hobby and just stop paying attention to your fertility. Like that. I think that's bullshit. I think that's a really tough thing to say to a woman who desperately wants to get pregnant. No, you have every right to desperately want to get pregnant. You have every right to pay attention to your fertility. You have every single right to want what you want. But can we shift the focus to, like, I just had a girl in my group say, since I started the diet and the program the last 6 months, I haven't had any hiccups in my cycle. I'm still not pregnant. And then this month, I had this weird hiccup in my cycle where I had some spotting mid-cycle. She was devastated. Like, it was a huge setback, so devastated. And I just helped her turn it around. And I was like, but you're missing the fact that you just had 6 months of zero issues in your cycle. Yeah, you're not pregnant, but you just had 6 rock solid, healthy cycles. You've never had that. You just told me that you never had that until you started this diet and this program and this lifestyle and this mindset stuff, right? So she said to me, thank you so much for helping me reframe that. So it's really about the reframe. And it's just about, like, where am I putting my attention? What am I putting my focus on? Why does shift to a better mindset not come naturally? I think because we're trained for survival. I think it's an inherent process from a neurological perspective. We are trained mainly for survival. We are not trained to be in joy. It is not how we're set up. So we are set up to assess, to look for the problems, and then try to fix them. So we are trained biochemically to survive, not necessarily to thrive. And so there is that shift that, is like someone said to me years ago. It was one of my first coaches. When I got this book deal for Yes You Can Get Pregnant, I hired a coach because I was like, I gotta get this shit right. I gotta get organized. And then in the same week, my dad got diagnosed with stage 4 prostate cancer and was given 2 to 3 years to live. And my world was completely rocked and crushed. And so thank God she was there at the right time. And I said something like one day, I was like, well, I know I'll survive. And she's like, but life isn't about surviving, Amy. Life is about thriving. Shift that mindset. And so I think, talk about it in body belief, that there's like these 4 most common beliefs. And one of them is like, it's good enough. And I think a lot of us live in that space of like, this is good enough, or this is just what it is, right? I'm just meant to suffer. This is just, it is what it is. It's my lot in life. Sure. So accept that, because if you still feel resistance and anger about that, then you haven't accepted that truth. So you got to accept it. You got to say, okay, this is where I'm at. This sucks. I did that all the time with my dad when he was sick. When I had my miscarriage, this sucks. This is not what I wanted. This is not what I signed up for. This is not cool. I didn't want this, but this is where I'm at. So until you accept it, can you then begin to move past it, move through it, transform? And my goal always with my girls, with my clients, is that they get to have peace and joy and ease along the way to the baby. I'm sick of good enough. Yes, I agree. I couldn't agree more. Can physical illness cause problems with your cycle? 100%. I'm only going to answer questions that pertain to today's conversation, though. I need to shift my story that just past is not my future. I've always questioned why other people can eat junk and get pregnant, and I have all these restrictions. Yeah, I agree. That's like the hardest thing. Like, I have one of the beliefs in that PDF I was talking about is like, why do crackheads get pregnant? and I love it. I love when girls pick it. I love to like dissect it with them. And I don't mean to laugh about it. I think addiction is a really serious issue, and I send a lot of love and compassion to all addicts. So it's not a judgment. But it is something that people have a hard time with. So why me? Why me? And I think there's layers to that. I think from a spiritual perspective, you might be calling in the spirit of a child that wants some changes in your life for you. You might be genetically predisposed to, like, I'm one of those predisposed people. I just don't do well with toxins in my environment. My body just cannot process toxins. So the cleaner I eat, the better I feel. Some people are not genetically predisposed. They can eat a bunch of crap and they'd be perfectly fine. But in my opinion too, though, who wants to eat a bunch of crap? If we already know the crap is bad for us, why on earth would you eat it? So do you really want to be that girl who's eating McDonald's? And also, could you eat McDonald's once in a while and it not have a negative impact on your fertility? 100%. Like, I do think an 80-20, 90-10 rule. I mean, no one in my practice is ever encouraged to eat McDonald's because I just think it's processed, packaged crap food. But we're using that as an example here. So I think there's this, this story of the past is not my future too. I like that piece as well, where, Joe Dispenza talks a lot about your emotions are based on your past, right? And so your reaction to your life is based on your past experiences and your past emotions. If you want to change the trajectory of your life moving forward, you have to start reacting differently. And you can't react based on the things that happened in the past. If you react the same way every time, you're just going to continue the process. Same thing's going to just keep happening because you're stuck in that loop. So you got to choose again. Gabby Bernstein says that. Choose again. When the thought comes up, I choose again. And the key to the choosing again is being conscious of the belief, being conscious of the thought, oh, there I go again. I'm in that pattern. So what can I do differently this time? Instead of focusing on like my cycle sucked this month, wait a second though. I did try all these changes, and guess what? The last 6 months, my cycle has been awesome. So maybe this is just a one off, because 1 month out of 7, not so bad, right? When it used to be every single month, that's significant. Okay, right there, you just had a perspective shift. Right there, you just said to yourself, there's hope. There's actually some hope. Or what about diving deep into other women's, what we call the stories of hope on my blog? We have a ton of them. I think we do one a month or something like that. So there's a lot of stories of hope on there. But what about throwing yourself into another woman's story? Okay, and finding similarities. She was like me in this way, and in this way, and in this way. Her FSH was this, and her AMH was this. She had this many losses. She was this old. She did it. Do I really think that I'm going to be the only one who's left out? Where did that story come from? Why do I not think I'm good enough for this? And so it's really just about identifying those deep, deep, deep layers and shifting those beliefs and starting to be kinder to yourself, to have more compassion, to have more love, to have more support. And so I mentioned it just before, but I have this program. It's called the Yes program. It's all about fixing your fertility fears. It's a 4-week program. We are in the middle of, promoting it right now. So you guys probably have seen some promotion around it. It's 4 weeks. It's $150, which I think is ridiculously cheap for what you get. And I do that on purpose because I think this is such an important piece to the puzzle that is not looked at enough. People will say to you, yes, stress impacts your hormones. Stress impacts your fertility. But that's kind of like, oh, so you think it's all in my head? Like, go F yourself, right? But yeah, if you live in a constant state of fight or flight and you're constantly questioning yourself and you're constantly beating yourself up for things you didn't do in the past or didn't do right, or the fact that you didn't eat right 10 years ago, or that you had an abortion, or you did cocaine, or you did some kind of drug, or you didn't meet your partner soon enough, whatever the story is, it's time for forgiveness so we can transform. So when people just say to us, stress impacts your fertility, I think that is rude. I think it's cold. I don't think it's showing the full picture. And what does that even mean? We all have stressful lives. We do. We're living in a freaking pandemic right now. Life is stressful. It's scary. It's uncertain. And then now all of a sudden I can't do this thing that all these other women can do so easily. Like, yeah, that's stressful. So it's not about, we can't remove that stress. It's learning how to manage it, learning how to be kind and compassionate and understanding with yourself even in these times. So I have this program. It's going to kick off on Monday. It's called Yes. It's all about fixing your fertility fears. The link is amyraup.com/yes mindset. There's a video on there where I go into all this conversation again if you want to watch it. Basically what you're going to get 4 weeks. You get homework assignments, basically like daily daily tasks to do, daily recommendations. So 5 days a week, you get the weekends off. So you get 5 assignments each week, and you get a video lesson from me each week. And then you also get a live group coaching call with me each week in a secret Facebook group, just for the Yes students. And so it's basically going to be me teaching each week in this live group coaching call on the lessons. And what we do is the first week, we talk about how your fertility is an extension of your health. So you can really start to understand that piece, that fertility is not separate, and that health is mental, it's emotional, it's physical, and it's nutritional. Then the second week, we get into what are you believing about your fertility. So this is where we start to unpack, reveal these deep-seated beliefs that are no bueno for us. And then we work on starting to shift those beliefs. And then the third week, we work on imagining, opening ourselves up to visualizing, imagining what if I am worthy of the life of my dreams. So you can imagine too that this is going to help you with much more than just getting pregnant. These are deep-seated beliefs that are impacting every single behavior in your life and in your day, and that impact your health. And so we start to shift these core beliefs, we start to shift your entire life. And then the fourth week is all about saying yes to receiving your baby. So over the 4 weeks, we basically just help you massage into a kinder, more compassionate, more understanding version of yourself so that you can reduce this emotional inflammation and be on the path to really, truly receiving this child. So again, cart closes on Sunday night, so you can only sign up until Sunday night, and then the kickoff is on Monday, and it's 4 weeks. And there's not a lick of diet or supplements in this entire 4-week program. And in fact, if you bring up a diet or a supplement question, I will not answer it, because this is only about mindset. This is only about the thoughts that we are thinking and how they are impacting inflammation in our body on an emotional level, and how to begin to shift that. So I want you to check out the program, and only sign up though if you are willing to show up. I do not want you there if you are not willing to look into the deep dark corners of those belief systems. And I know for some of you, this is going to be, bring up old traumas, and I'm not 100%, my team and I is there for you, and we have resources for you though, if you need to take a deeper dive. So know that. Also, I've been doing this clinically for, almost 2 decades. And so I feel very confident that the work we're going to do together is going to be gentle and soft and supportive and loving and caring. And if you need additional help, I'll be the one to help you figure out where to go. But to understand that the root, I really truly believe the root of all healing lies in our compassion and kindness towards ourselves. And because that is when things shift. Like when I look in the mirror and I like who I am, I just inherently make better choices for my life. I inherently speak my truth. I inherently take time to care for myself on an emotional and a nutritional and a physical level. When I'm moving so fast and I'm not feeling, it's because I want to avoid. And when I'm living just up in my head and checking the boxes, I took these supplements today, and I did X, Y, and Z. Why am I not pregnant? Okay, we're not feeling. I want you to feel again. I want you to actually have joy and peace along this path, and you deserve that, and you can do it. And I've seen it so many times in so many of my clients. And I hold that hope for you as well. So I want to just look at some questions on Facebook. The retreat is life-changing. Thank you what you said. I love what you said. Life isn't about surviving in fear because of our fertility struggles. It's about thriving in hope and faith. Hell yeah, Carolina. Is the 4-week yes the same as the one in the Ultimate Fertility membership? It is, except for it's live. And the Ultimate Fertility membership actually ends this month too. So you only have 3 more weeks of access to that. But yes, that's the Yes Digital. The difference is you'll just get the live coaching and the group that goes along with it. Started spotting today. I'm mad at myself. So heartbroken. I just bought Body Belief. Can't wait to dive in. I feel I am always in fight or flight mindset. Thank you. Yeah, and most of us are, and I want us to be forgiving of ourselves for that too. But I have this quick tool that I talk about in Body Belief that is just when I see myself there, I just say to myself, Amy, where are you? And it immediately brings me back, and it's oh right, I'm in next week, or I'm at I'm already in my 12:45 meeting and it's only 12:32. Where are you? Right now, I'm right here with all of you guys, sharing space, talking about loving ourselves and being more kind and compassionate, right? So where are you? And just you pull yourself back in. It's most of us, we're not properly trained to feel, or we're told that our feelings were valuable, right? That they mattered. And so we're very good at just brushing ourselves aside. And that's the opposite of what I want for any of the mothers in my group. I do not want us to mother from a place of not feeling important. The world is fucked up enough. I want you guys in your true power, and I want you to raise children from that space. That's what we need right now. And when we're in our feeling space, when we are compassionate and kind to ourselves, regardless of how our life looks right now, when we stop judging ourselves, we stop judging others. And I do think we are inherently better parents and partners and bosses and employers, employees, whatever. For anyone who is feeling overwhelmed or resistant, be curious if you're avoiding your feelings. I say that because that's how I was. The assignments are totally manageable and not terribly time consuming. I'm here today because I needed the reminder how to move through my beliefs. Oh, Kathy, I love you. Kathy just sent me the most beautiful baby card with her little man who is about to be a year. If you guys never watched Kathy's Story of Hope with me, you should. There's a couple of my girls on here right now. And let me just see, I know we got some questions here on Facebook. Instagram. Sorry, Facebook, I'm putting my hand in front of the camera there. Okay, let me just answer some of these questions. So is this like cognitive behavioral therapy? I suppose I've never done CBT. Like I have a therapist, we do EMDR and I guess just talk therapy. But my book editor who's helped me with all three of my books is an LSW. And she said basically what I wrote out in Body Belief is pretty much cognitive behavioral therapy. But I've done a ton of work, like spiritual work with Abraham Hicks and things like people like Joe Dispenza. There's all sorts of people like, I've done all that work too. And it's really, I call it belief system work, where it's just getting down to the core beliefs and then beginning to shift them. This program is highly focused on fertility fears. So it's a good question. I'm not a therapist. I'm an acupuncturist, an herbalist, and an author. So I won't claim that it's therapy. I think it can be hard because we don't believe in ourselves and truly embrace our worth. We need to work at being our fan and our cheerleader. That's it. And it's also like, it's not about perfectionism. It's not about being there 100% of the time. It's like literally like 55, 60% of the time where we can be kinder to ourselves can make all the difference. So I think that's something else to understand and to learn. I struggle with other people pushing their beliefs on me. Yeah, so I call those leaky boundaries. I have those too. I'm much better at them. I find it hard, for instance, when my husband, parent, or friend pushing their lack of faith or negativity on me. And I think too, you can deflect that pretty easily, just with like, I get it. I get why you are saying that, and maybe you're trying to protect me, and I know you love me, but I still have faith. So maybe we just shouldn't have these conversations anymore. And I'll just check in with you when I feel like I need it. Is that cool? I've had many patients that we teach them how to have those conversations with friends and loved ones. And you'll get that in this course too. I couldn't agree with you more. I've signed up. Oh, amazing. Scientifically, how do negative thoughts induce inflammation? So basically thoughts create a neurochemical reaction in your body. And if the thoughts are negative or worrisome, they do create a cortisone reaction in your body, like norepinephrine, things like that, adrenaline set off, and your body thinks it's under attack. So it thinks it's going to be attacked by the tiger that's maybe around the corner or the lion, whereas it's really just your own thoughts in your own head. So you're constantly just running on this state of fight or flight, and that does age you. Stress is meant to be like in spurts and then go away, spurts and then go away. A lot of us live in a chronic stress state. And so it basically taxes the adrenals. It'll age us before our time, and it'll cause inflammation. There's also other theories out there and other evidence out there that thoughts literally create neurotransmitters. So the thought you think literally does create the reaction in your body. Like, my AMH is low, my AMH is low, my AMH is low. Guess what? Ovaries get told, AMH is low, AMH is low. Okay, so AMH is low. All right, everybody got the message. AMH is low. I'm too old. Oh, you're too old. Yeah, you're too old. Okay, let's start shutting systems down. You're too old. So we're starting to see that too, that there's literally like a thought, and then there's a neurochemical reaction that could then impact the physiological representation of that thought. What if I don't have Facebook? We do record all of the coaching. So the coaching isn't interactive, so you don't have to be there live for it. It's, I'm going to go through questions and answers. So you could submit things. If you didn't have Facebook and in the group, then you could tune in live to the recorded coaching calls that are happening, and everything else is on the member site. So you would still have access to everything. So you don't need, and we put the videos up in the member site, so you don't need Facebook for it. You would miss the interaction of the group, but, oh, she already answered that. What if there are unexplained issues at play that can't be fixed? Well, so I don't know though. I do think that's a limiting belief. You're still stuck in the fact that there's nothing that can be done for me. And maybe that's true, but then are you being kind to yourself about that? Are you angry about that? Are you pissed off? Like, are there emotions that still need to be unpacked around there? But if you think you're all in check and everything's great and it's just this one genetic thing and you got to do IVF to screen for it, then perhaps it's not for you. But I've had plenty of girls like that, and it still takes an emotional toll, and they still need help unpacking things. So it really that's up to you. So hard to recognize the stress level. Do you teach how to recognize current state and how to recognize when you shift it adequately? 100%. Just found out I'm pregnant after 2 miscarriages. Oh my God, considering this course to stay in the same pregnant calmness, would this course address that? 100%, because it's the same beliefs, Brooke. And that's really exciting. Do you agree with my acupuncturist that taking more does more harm? I don't know what the question is in regard to taking more what. Let me just see. Taking more does more harm. Will this be helpful if you're already pregnant? I think so, especially if you've been on the journey for a while. Like I could see that you're, scared, so it's supportive. And I think it's helpful for anyone, no matter where they are in their life. This will just have more of a fertility focus. So absolutely though. And I'm just seeing the time. I actually have to go because I have another Instagram live in about 5 minutes with the CEO from Simple Needs, which is the artisanal gluten-free sourdough bread, which is amazing. So if you want to I'm going to hop off and then I'm going to hop back on. But go check out the program. It's amyraup.com/yes mindset. You have until Sunday evening to sign up. The program kicks off on Monday. It runs for 4 weeks. It's one of my most popular programs. We make it, I think the price point is, amazing in my opinion, like $30 a week, basically $35 a week, for all that you get. And it's work that you will continue to do on your own. And so go check it out. Again, you have until Sunday to sign up, and I will see you guys soon. Okay. Love to all of you. All right. How do I get out of Instagram? And now, okay. Bye guys.